Dynamic, articulate, perceptive, courageous, outspoken.
Welcome back to the dojo. We got another reaction for y'all today, right? I was scrolling through, I wasn't scrolling. That's not what I do. I was surfing through the ocean that is YouTube, and I came across this video, Being Invisible to Women Ruined My Life. I thought this would be an interesting video because, well, one thing, this man has humbled himself to such a degree that he calls his channel Loser Life. I don't want to think ill of this guy, because God said in your word, if you humble yourself, I will exalt you. And if you exalt yourself, I will humble you. That's what God said in his word. This man has humbled himself to such a degree. I need to know what he has to say. Being invisible to women ruined my life. Shoot. I can't say that I was ever invisible to women, but I was overlooked because of my height. I may be attractive, I may be strong or whatever, but women usually want tall guys, so that's just what it is. I'm not tall, so I can't be wanted only but by a few. But let's see what this man has to say. Being invisible to women ruined my life. I'm anxious to see what he's talking about. All right, let's go.
Hey yo, what's up? So
I hate when my computer does this.
Hey yo, what's up? So I wanted to talk about being too messed up to ever really have a relationship or really anything, to be honest, right? Even something very simple or small or casual, right? Basically any kind of interaction with a woman, right? At some point, I know at some point, so much rejection, right? Years of it literally just mold you and mold you into a person, right? Because women don't actually consider me a person, right?
Damn, bro. That hurts to hear. But see, men, you get like this when you're focused on women. When you're focused on women and you keep losing, right? You haven't done the inner workings to realize what is wrong. I believe this man, because of the amount of rejection that he's taken, he probably, what's the word? He probably just continues to doubt himself. It breaks his confidence down. He has to build his confidence up away from women. Then once he start feeling like the shit and feeling like the man, that's when you go again. I feel like maybe this guy lacked confidence. You know what I mean? Confidence, being sure of yourself, is a good way to attract women. Like, when you radiate confidence, it's just attractive to them. It truly is. And if you don't radiate confidence, they're going to be like, ugh, what? They might not outright say it, but you'll feel it from the way they respond to you. But let's keep going. I'm going to give this man a like just for being so humble.
In the sense that, or I guess the more accurate term is they don't consider me an actual man, right? Because, a man is, someone they find, sexually attractive, right? That they deem worthy, right? But that's not me, obviously. But yeah, so years upon years of rejection, basically, just will mold your mind, so you're basically unable to really ever have any kind of interaction, any meaningful interaction with women, right? Nothing. So even if I were to suddenly magically be transported into, I don't know, the most attractive, male.
Okay, I think he used transported the wrong way. I'm not entirely sure. Transport is usually like having to do with travel or moving things. You know what I mean? He said transported. Maybe he wanted to use transform. I'm not sure, but I'm gonna keep following along. I just had to pick that out.
What is it? Whatever, like face and body, whatever, right? Nothing would, like, maybe let's say I would get in some point of like initial attraction. They would always just fail because
Because
there's just no way to, basically, I'm just your mind gets too messed up from years of rejection is basically what I'm trying to get at, right? And there's a difference between people who just get rejected a lot and eventually, there's a light at the end of the tunnel, right? And there's a difference between people who get rejected and that's all they know and that's all they'll ever know, right?
well, that's because you haven't done the inner work. Like, I'm looking at this dude, right? I'm I'm not gay in any capacity at all, but he looks like a relatively attractive dude. He look like there are women who would be attracted to him based on his appearance. He might not be the biggest, strongest, muscular guy, but he's not an ugly dude. Let's just go ahead and get out there. He's not an ugly dude. I think what it is, he just lacks confidence. You know what I mean? He's not sure of himself, so he always goes into it with that awkward, weird energy, and women can feel your energy. They are more in tune with feelings, emotions, intuition. You know what I mean? So if you don't got the right feels, you don't got the right vibe, it's never going to work. Plus, women today are not moving how they were back in the 60s and 70s and all that. The sexual liberation and the history of men versus women, they kind of got a chip on their shoulder. So you got to know how to approach the right way to where you stand out and you alleviate all her doubts about you. Now, there's some women who are never going to forgive men ever. And that ain't my place to tell them what to do. If they want to feel that way, that's them. But I've come across enough women who've given me a chance, and even we've gotten to the bedroom, and regardless if it worked out or not, I still enjoyed the time that I spent with them. You got to know how to appreciate what they give you. You know what I mean? Whether it's just a call, whether it's just, you know what I mean, a text, you got to learn how to appreciate it. And if it's not enough that you can appreciate it, you just got to let it go. Because they going to be on to the next whenever they ready to be on to the next. That's the privilege that women have. Men, we kind of got to get lucky, or we have to build ourselves up to a place where you just can't deny us. It's like, oh man, he's got everything. He's this, he's that. He's strong, he's fast, he's smart. You know what I mean? You got to build yourself up as a man. We don't start in our lives with value. Women start with value because men, we value women being attractive. And the more attractive a woman is, the more value she has in our eyes. You know, until the mask comes off and we really see what's behind door number one. But either way, I'm talking way too much. This video is like 10 minutes long, and I'm making it longer because I just got so much to say.
There's a big difference, right? Rejection will always suck, right? I can acknowledge that. But rejection is the copes and tropes that people say about rejection. It's like, oh yeah, every rejection is one woman closer to be a yes, right? It's like, that's a nice cope and all, but that's only true if rejection isn't a permanent thing, right? But when you don't meet a certain threshold of looks, of attractiveness, right? Because that's the one thing people always fail to understand, right? It's like, yes, looks aren't everything. Looks are everything until they aren't everything, right? So it's like, if
I'm not really getting it. It's just he just keeps talking about rejection. You titled this video "Being Invisible to Women Ruined My Life." How will you be accepted if they never even saw who you were? You just appeared out of nowhere. You just popped up. You know what I mean? You just popped up like malware, and and now you expecting them to welcome you into their life with open arms. Bro, you gotta do the work. You need to stop focusing on women and get yourself together, because because you're so focused on women and gaining their approval, you're never gonna win. It's kind of like you got to use reverse psychology on yourself. Like, you know what? I'm not worried about women. I don't care. And then you'll start to see women give you a chance or at least look your way. Like, bro, you got to focus on yourself. Stop focusing on women. Focus on yourself. I bet if I get a woman watching this video, she gonna be like, yeah, you right. You know what I mean? Because I've dealt with women. I've had success with women. I've had failures with women. But the overarching theme is this. You have to be a man. They have to see you as a man. And my stature, I'm not tall at all. But I've been considered and looked at as a man. Even though I'm only like, 5'6"? Yeah, I'm short. I'm a short king, baby. I'm a short king, baby. So I gotta keep listening to this man, bro.
If you don't meet the minimum looks threshold for someone, then it's game over, right? Nothing you can do will ever make you be seen as a potential partner at that point, right? Because you just don't meet the minimum looks threshold, because that's what allows you to just have something that's just a normal platonic friendship into something more, right?
Looks will get you in the door, but it's not gonna keep you there. Looks will get you in the door, but it's not gonna keep you there.
You can't ever turn, like, I mean, I've gone over it tons of times, right? But people just don't understand, right? If your looks aren't good enough, and nothing else matters, right? The woman has to want to actually, basically sleep with you for there to, be any kind of actual relationship. And if that doesn't exist, then then you're basically just in a friendship, right?
Man, some of these girls just want one night stands, bro. Stop playing. Like, maybe you don't know. Some of these women just want one night stands. They got a boyfriend. They just want to have some fun on the side. That's why I don't look. I've been the one that they've cheated with, and because I know what I know about women, I don't really think I want to be the main guy. The main guy gets cheated on. I'm sorry, sir. You need to be thankful for where you are in life. Like, you can't get divorced if you're not married, and you can't get cheated on if you're not in a relationship. You gotta accept the blessings that come into your life. You are found wanting. You want too much. You gotta want yourself to be better, and then you'll get all these other things that you want. Like, men have to focus on themselves until they reach that plateau of their idealistic version of themselves. Then when you get to the idealistic version of yourself, your confidence will be through the roof. You'll be unstoppable. But a lot of us haven't done the work to reach our ideal selves, even me. But even still, even though I'm not at my ideal plateau, I'm still confident that I can do what needs to be done, and I can. It's hard to explain confidence. It is really hard to explain confidence because each person decides or defines their own confidence. I can see that this man is lacking in confidence. This is his biggest drawback.
Basically friend zoned, right? not that I would know, right? Because I don't even have the luxury of being friend zoned, right? And friend zoned, right? That's another thing, right? It's like some guys really don't understand. It's like, just do this when talking to women. It's like I'm at a point where I've never even had that luxury of just being friend zoned because I don't interact with women
Well, that's your big problem right there. If you don't interact with women, how can you get a woman? You don't even know the first step about attracting a woman because you don't interact with them. You don't get a feel of their vibes so you can understand where you're at in your quote unquote manhood as they see it. Woo! My brothers, my players, my pimps, y'all got a lot to learn out here, man. Y'all got a lot. You got to start talking to women, bro. Even if you're not, you gotta just talk to women just to talk to women. You gotta understand how they move. You need to understand the modus operandi of the modern average everyday woman. And if you're not interacting with them, you're only going to get information online, and it's going to be surface level. It's never going to be anything concrete that will help you gain understanding, because you're always going to be looking at somebody else's perspective online. They say it's like this, they say it's like that. And because you're not in their shoes, you're never going to see it that way, or you're never going to get that result, because you are not them. You need to interact with women if you want to understand them. Even though it's almost impossible to understand women because they don't want to be understood, right? I know that much. But you still have to interact. If you don't interact, you'll never gain anything. So this guy is kind of like, as time goes on, he's revealing why he's failing. And if you don't have perspective on women, you're just going to agree with everything he's saying because you probably had a similar experience.
Interactions are a two-way thing, right? It's like these people really just don't think before talking, right? It's like interactions are a two-way thing. If I want to interact with a woman, right? For there to actually be an interaction, right? They have to also, at least to some extent, interact back, right? That's how a conversation happens, right? It's not just one person talking to someone, or else I might as well just, talk to a wall or something, right? And then call that a conversation, right? That wall identifies as a woman and I'm talking to it. Therefore, I had a conversation with a woman, right? It's like, that's how ridiculous this is, right? It's like, to have an actual conversation instead of just, talking at someone who is just going to be like, okay, sure, whatever. Like, even then, right? Even if they do talk back to you, but it's probably just going to be those, those very superficial, yeah, sure, whatever, yes. The one word answer as a way of indirectly shutting you down. See, that's the other thing, right? It's like,
that's the thing. At least you understand that if a woman is not giving you conversation back, it's a telltale sign that she doesn't really want to interact with you. She's just trying to be nice, for lack of a better word. She's trying to be nice and give you hints to make you realize that she's not attracted to you. A lot of brothers still have not learned this simple fact.
Indirect rejection, right? People people don't acknowledge that it's just as bad, right? In ways it can be worse, right? So, I mean, like I said, rejection is bad in every single way. And I don't know, for some reason, my mind, maybe it's probably just due to always having, always being rejected, always indirectly rejected too, right? That's the only thing my mind knows. So maybe that's probably why it's so hypersensitive to rejection, right? Where I will never I don't think you could pay me enough money to ever initiate any kind of interaction with a woman, right? It's because I just won't, because I understand my place, right? That's one thing, right? I understand my place in society. I understand that I'm just a nuisance, a bother, a whatever, something that women do not want to deal with, right? And, maybe it's different in other places, but in, I don't know, growing up, what is it, I guess in the U.S., what is it, at least during my time, it's like you constantly, or I would constantly hear, it's like, oh, women don't like to be bothered by guys. It's like they don't like it when you look at them or whatever, when you look at their ass or whatever, right? All this stuff, right? It's like, so basically, that in combination with the legitimately years of indirect rejection, of being ignored, ostracized, never spoken to, all this stuff, right? Not being chosen as a dance partner by girls, and what is it, in school, was it all this stuff, right? All this stuff, when girls have had the opportunity to be the selector, right? So it's a complete cope to think every single girl is gonna be hyper shy, right? And it's like, oh yeah, every girl that likes me is hyper shy, but for some reason, all these other girls, right? Who what is it? Let me see something. Sorry. All these other girls who can ask these other guys to be their partner or whatever, right? Or interact with them or talk to them first. It's like, how is it possible? Like they are all not shy, but suddenly they're gonna be, they're just gonna be shy with me. What's the more logical, simple explanation? It's probably true, right?
They're not sure about you, dude. And it's because you're not sure about yourself. The energy that you project, they pick up on it and they give it back to you. If you're not sure about yourself, she's not going to be sure about you either. This is the point that a lot of guys miss, bro. This is what a lot of guys miss. You don't realize that your energy is being picked up on. You're not even aware that you're projecting any energy. You think they can't see into you, but they can, bro. Like, they don't move on the same parameters that we do. They don't see on the same parameters that we do. They see something different. And if you can't show them the confident man that you are, they're always going to be apprehensive about you. And this man also has a defeatist mindset. You can never win if you already defeat yourself before you even get in the game, bro. Ah, man, I feel bad for this guy, bro. I really feel bad for this guy.
It's just that, women just aren't attracted to me, and they just don't want to talk to me because, they're not attracted to me because they just don't care, right? I'm
You're
just a
not
nobody
confident.
to them. A nobody, an ugly, undesirable male.
Dude, you're not ugly, bro. You lack confidence. You lack confidence, bro. You're not sure of yourself. You don't know how to approach. You got too afraid to approach women because you've been rejected maybe once or twice. And that was enough for you to never try again, bro. Like, if you're watching this video, Mr. Loser Life, you have to work on you, bro. You have the women just wait at the finish line. You have to work on you. You have to become a winner. We're not going to go into the Andrew Tate spiel, but you have to become a winner, especially in your own eyes. If you don't feel like a winner, you're going to always be a loser, and you're going to always have a loser life. I feel for you, bro, but you got to do the work, bro. It looked like you just got out of the gym, so it looks like you're at least trying to do the work from where I stand, but bro, come on, man. You got to pump yourself up, man. You're just deflating yourself every time you go out in public.
Right? A loser. And and that's the simplest, most obvious kind of explanation, right? Because it's like that one thing. What is it? The simplest explanation or whatever is like, most likely the truest one or whatever, right? And that's the simplest one. Is it more feasible that every single woman I've ever come into contact with is going to be they are suddenly going to be shy and not outgoing and all this stuff with you, but with everyone else, yes? Or they just are not interested in you, and that's why, right? It's like they're gonna act special around me, right? Because like it's all that'd be a huge cope, right? To think that, oh, I'm so special. I make women act a certain way, right? When the reality is they're just not interested because they just don't find me desirable.
Because you probably keep picking women that are out of your league or would never find you attractive. You got to pick a woman that finds you attractive. And you can realize that by the vibes that she get off. But the funny thing is, you probably won't be attracted to that woman that's attracted to you. You got to go for who likes you, bro. That's the name. You have to go for who likes you. You are not appealing to the women that you find appealing. You haven't figured out how to be appealing to women that you find appealing. I'm pretty sure there's women that you overlooked. You can't tell me there's not. We all, it goes the same way for everybody. It goes the same way for everybody.
No, that's the more accurate truth. But yeah, it's like, I mean, I guess kind of a huge side tangent, but you know, it all kind of goes back to like, yeah, it's like all those years of rejection, all those rejection experiences, indirect and was it basically indirect rejection, right? Because I never really had the opportunity to get directly rejected because I never had that luxury, right? It's just the brutal reality. The brutal reality of life. And that's just what I have to deal with. So I mean, I guess that's it for now. Later.
Well, this guy lacks confidence. He has a defeatist mindset. He doesn't approach or interact with women. So he's never going to win. He has labeled himself a loser, and he projects that outwardly. I feel for this guy, but he thinks he's a loser, so I'm not going to try to change his mind. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Professor Hawk signing out. Hawk Sensei bids you adieu. I hope you enjoyed this reaction, guys. Toodaloo.